All right, what's up, guys? So I just wrapped up my trading session for the day. As you can see, big loss for me today. I hit my daily max loss on my 16 PA Apex accounts. So this is 2 red trades for me in a row. After that, I'm done. There's no point in trading again. I'm obviously not seeing the market correctly today. So as you can see, I have my daily max loss set to 600. So I ended up losing $600 in 16 of my PA Apex accounts. So over a $9,000 red day for me today. Of course, these are funded accounts, so I'm just losing money that I made previously. But that's how it goes sometimes, right? And I definitely made a few mistakes today. I want to go over the 2 trades I took, and hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and not make the same mistakes I did, obviously, right? So anyways, let's go into these 2 trades, okay? First things first, my first trade I took was on gold. We can see this is the trade I took, and I basically went long right here. You know, I was pretty much aiming for a 1-to-1 risk reward. We got pretty close to it, never fully saw it, and I ended up getting stopped out, and then news came out and we just ripped up. Okay, so there's a few problems with this trade. For one, at one point I was up like 150 on this trade, and we're going up on pretty low volume. I should have taken it off there. I know some of my students did who traded live with me because I did take this trade live, but I just wasn't fast enough and I wanted to let the trade play out. Now, the first, I think, mistake I made with this trade really is, you guys know if you watch my videos, I always start with the 4-hour time frame. And if you look on the 4-hour time frame, what we can see is I want to see consistent red or green candles and only take setups with that direction. Now, what ended up happening is we had these red candles, but we bounced off a pretty big support level from yesterday. And if we see this, right, so we had no green candles before the market opened. So in this case, I shouldn't have been trading. I should have waited at least an hour for the market structure to kind of build more. And if we go into the 5-minute chart, you can see this better, right? So we had these red candles in pre-market. We bounced off the support from yesterday. And we ripped up, right? We ripped up above VWAP. We pulled back to it. And, you know, what I saw in the 2-minute time frame is I saw really good volume come in. So if we just zoom in right here, we saw some nice volume come in at the lows here. End up getting in right here once it got confirmation. Obviously, the goal was like a high a day play, but we decided to chop around. We also had news that could have also been a factor of this on why we were, you know, so choppy and didn't have any momentum. But again, yeah, just didn't follow my rules in the pre-market with those 4-hour candles. I should have waited at least an hour the market open, looked at the structure more, and we could have seen if we would have waited till 7:30 after an hour of this being open, we could have seen there's no structure, right? There's no higher highs being put in. There's, you know, not really any higher lows. It's kind of just flat and choppy, okay, which tells us to stay out of it until we break one of these sides, okay? Eventually, we broke this side. We pulled back. I wanted to take this trade, but on this trade, there was no volume at the low, so I couldn't get in. This would have worked out very nicely. We would have had a nice green day today. So anyways, didn't take this because there's no volume down here. So at that point, I started looking at other things, right? And then this is where I went over to ES, right? So at this point, I was down around $250 in each of my accounts. This point, I went over to ES, and you know, what happened here was, you know, I was a little bit better with this because I knew ES was flat overnight, right? We're very flat overnight. So I told myself I want to wait at least an hour to see some kind of market structure form for me to actually take a trade on the S&P 500, right? Because the pre-market was so flat, there was no clear trend. Okay, so that's pretty much what I did here is 8:30. The market's been open for around an hour. So for those that don't know, I'm a trend pullback trader. So I only trade with a trend and I wait for pullbacks to get in, along with some confirmations to actually enter the trade. So we got a little bit of pullbacks here. It was just super up and down. Couldn't really get a good entry or anything. By the time we got confirmation, we're closing at resistance. End up breaking up. So this is a good sign that trend was continuing to form. And what we did here is we pulled back, right? So what I did is I grabbed this low to this high, right? So I grabbed a little fib level. We pulled back straight to our 61.8, also lined up with VWAP. We had good volume come in at the lows right here. So all my confirmations were pretty much there. And from there, I just wait for a green candle. So if we zoom in here once again, as you can see, got the green candle right here. End up entering at around 42-ish, 41. We also had the MACD cross down here. But as you can see, I got stopped out on this candle right here because obviously I had my stop on the lows. Now, the question is, why did this trade not work out? Okay, you can see it stopped us out and then it went up, right? And we would have had a nice winner on this. I mean, this went up nearly 15 points from, this candle where we would have entered on, right? So this would have been a nice trade that would have paid for our original loss that we took on gold. So why didn't this work out? I entered too soon. I did wait for confirmations, but I think there's one thing. This is a rule I used to have, but I stopped using it around a month ago because I started using the zero lag MACD, and I was kind of taking some trades without using this rule and they were working out. But I kind of looked back on all my trades over the past few months and I noticed that, this rule will save me from a lot of losses. Okay. Pretty much every time I lose, it's mainly because I'm not following this rule. So this is going to be a new mandatory rule I'm going to start following again, which I used to follow. And this is going to be, let me actually move myself. Okay, this is going to be the 5-minute MACD. Okay, as we can see, when I entered this trade, let me just delete the Fibonacci so you guys can see better. When I entered this trade, pretty much like right here is where I entered on this 5-minute candle here on the left side of my screen. We can see that the 5-minute MACD was, pretty much pointing straight down. It was starting to get a little bit of curve. And, typically, like I said, I tend to lose more when the 5-minute MACD is doing that, right? When it's in the opposite direction and it's pointing straight down. Now, what the new rule I'm going to start following again, which I used to follow in June and July, had awesome months back then. And what this rule is making sure that even if I get all my other confirmations, right? We're trading with the trend, we get the volume, we get the Heikin-Ashi candle, like I entered right here, right? Like we saw, if the 5-minute MACD isn't flatlining or ready to cross, then chances are we're going to chop around more. I might get stopped out and, the trade could work. It'll work sometimes, even if the 5-minute MACD is pointing straight down, right? But most of the time, it's not going to work out, okay? And what we can see here is we pull back again. This is where I got stopped out. We kind of chopped around in this area. Then we started getting our confirmations again. We had good volume come in once again on these lows. And what we notice here, let's just look at the timestamp, right? So this would have been our confirmation candle around 10:16. We had the 2-minute MACD cross once again. So at 10:16, let's look at what the 5-minute MACD was doing at 10:16. So this would have been on this candle right here, right where my mouse is. And what we can see here is the MACD was starting to flatline more, right? It wasn't just head straight down. The yellow line and the blue line were getting closer together, right? Which means it's closer, getting ready to cross more. Okay, and this is the confirmation I need to start waiting for, that I'm going to start waiting for on all my trades. Again, I'm going to miss more trades doing this and applying this rule, but it's better than taking losing trades, right? Taking less trades is better than taking more trades but having more losses. And, especially for me, like I have 16 PA accounts on Apex Trader Funding. All my trades, I can make anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000 on my winners. So really, to make good money, I just need a few good trades per week, right? I can be really picky. I can be really selective. And even if you have a small account, that's what I recommend you to do, because the only way you're going to scale to more accounts or a bigger account is by being consistently profitable, right? And the best way to be consistently profitable is to be more picky, go for the higher win rate, and only take a few good setups per week. Sometimes we'll get a few good setups in a day. It just kind of depends in the market cycle we're in, okay? But this is a new mandatory confirmation that I'm going to start waiting for. I want the 5-minute MACD to start flatlining and we still get all our other confirmations. And obviously you can see once it started doing that, and that's when we ripped up, right? We would have had a nice risk reward. We would have entered at like 37, had our stop at 31, so risking 6 points, right? As you can see, we ripped up nearly 15 points from where we would have entered. So that alone is, like a 2.5 to 1 risk reward ratio. Would have paid for our first loss if we implemented that rule. So anyways, that's what I'm going to start doing. I also put some messages in my Discord group if you guys are interested in reading this. Basically what I was saying here is exactly what I told you in this video, right? I think I need to go back to the mandatory rule of 5-minute regular MACD to be flatlining or ready to cross to enter. On this ES trade, it was still pointing down. I stopped using it when I started using the zero lag MACD, but still noticed most of my winning trades on the 5-minute MACD was flatlining still. The GC trade I took earlier, right, the 5-minute MACD was flatlining, but as I showed you, that first trade I took, the pre-market candles didn't align with my position. Going to post our strategy every day so we're all on the same page, keep myself accountable more. I need to be better than this. My main problem is when I start getting bad momentum, I start slacking patience and discipline more. When I get good momentum, I trade flawlessly like you guys saw in June and July and parts of August. I've gone through this roller coaster tons of times in my journey. It's part of the process, but we can always work to be better. Okay, so here's our strategy. It works plain and simple if we follow all of it. If it's not there, yes, we may miss trades, but it's better than taking losses. All we need is a few good trades per week. Okay, and this is my strategy I follow. This is the only setup I trade. I don't trade any other strategy. Pre-market trend, right? Consistent 4-hour candles, whether it's green or red, doesn't matter. Okay, that will tell us whether we want to focus on short setups or long setups. Next thing, pullback to level near VWAP, right? So on that gold trade, we pulled back to VWAP, but we didn't have the consistent candle. So all this needs to line up. Then we want to see reversal candle with standout volume at the lows, right? On that pullback. Then we want to see the 5-minute regular MACD to start flatlining, right? We don't want it to be pointing straight down, because if we are going to turn around, right, and continue that trend, and the 5-minute MACD is pointing down, right, chances are we're going to consolidate more, we're going to be more choppy, and you can get stopped out by a few ticks like I did on that ES trade that you just saw, right? So we want to see the 5-minute MACD flatlining. That way, once we do start getting buying momentum, right, we're going to be ready, set up to really squeeze and have a nice trade, right? We're already done consolidating. That's what the 5-minute MACD is going to tell us. 2-minute zero lag MACD signal plus good 2-minute candle. If there's no reversal candle, like right here, if there's no reversal candle, look for elevated volume on the HA candle, and we can enter on there. Then you simply put your stop below the reversal candle or the HA candle, depending on which confirmation you're using between the two of these. Then from there, we trim at a 1-to-1 risk reward, and then we cut if going up on low volume or going down on low volume if we're going short. And then we can have runners for more extreme targets. So this is the system I follow. This is the strategy. And I said sometimes little tweaks can make all the difference, right? So anyways, guys, those are my results for the day. Don't be discouraged by one bad day, one bad week. It's all part of the process. I'm going to be a little bit more strict with my setups, as you saw that new rule I'm implementing again. And we're going to see how it goes the rest of the week. So anyways, guys, I'm excited to come back tomorrow, come back stronger. If you guys don't know, I trade live every single day on Zoom. So I'll see you guys at Market Open. If you guys are new here and you guys want to join our Discord community, we'd love to have you inside. Inside of here, I share my trading plan every day. I share my trade recaps. And we also have an awesome community of all kinds of other traders. You can chat, you can ask me questions in here and all that good stuff. So if you guys do want to join this community, we'd love to have you inside. All you have to do is go to the first link in the description below, or just head over to this link right here. With that being said, guys, as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow at Market Open.